Hello everyone, Solar Primal here. Welcome to the 700 sub special answers video. Alright, I'm excited. I'm actually looking forward to a lot of this stuff. You guys gave me a lot of fun and awesome questions to work with. So I'm gonna try and answer these the best I can. And I'm gonna answer every single one. So without any further ado, let's get started. Okay. Very first question from Delmaru LP. First question is, what is your favorite game? That is a very good question. A favorite game of all time. All time. Sadly, it wasn't a Pokemon game, as fun as Pokemon games are. It's not something I can always go back to and be like, I love this game. If I don't go back to one in a while, I kind of forget where some things are and I get all mad. I think I'm gonna say Conker's Bad Fur Day. That's a game that I can always go back to. I know exactly what to do. And the multiplayer on that is friggin' amazing. And it's a lot of fun to play with a lot of people. My favorite system, I'll be completely honest. And my favorite system ever would be a GameCube. Because I still have my old GameCube. I'm still using it. And there was just tons of really fun games that came out for it that I loved playing it. It was the shiz for when I grew up. So, you know, as nice as the Wii is, the GameCube was definitely something you could just pick up and just have at her. So, on to the next question. Next questions are from XMetal929. Where did you get that chimchar? I actually did get this chimchar when I went up to Edmonton. If you guys are familiar with Canadian cities, it's just it's about 3 hours north of Calgary. It's supposed to be the capital of Alberta. Anyways, yeah, we went to West Edmonton Mall, and the people we were visiting, some good friends of ours, knew of a place where they had tons of kind of plush dolls and whatnot. So that was the first place we went to. And initially we saw a really big chimchar, and I was like, "Oh, that's amazing! I want it, but that's kind of big." And I looked around a little bit more, and then I saw a smaller one, which is the one I ended up getting. And I'm very happy I did. Lunar was the one that bought it, just because I was paying for everything else at that time, like gas and food. So I was like, "Hey, why don't you buy this since you're not using your money?" And then she was like, "Okay, fine." And she rolls her eyes and hands it to me. And then I made her take a picture of me with it and post it on Twitter. So that's where I got that chimchar. Alright, next question. What do you use to record LPs, and how can I get it? I use a Dazzle capture card. I have the whole setup for it where it plugs into my computer and my TV. Oh, I mean, like from the system and kind of splits into the TV, but also into the capture card, so it gets captured onto the computer. You cannot have mine because I want it and I bought it. Depending on where you live, your best bet would be either apparently Radio Shack would have them. That's in the States. We don't have those in Canada anymore. I got mine at London Drugs. It was the last one they had. I was very happy. Apparently you can get them at Best Buy as well. It's pretty good. Yeah, I won't go any further with that because there's more questions to ask. Next question is from Thunder Wallywog. Okay, his question is, what made you want to start LPs? What made me want to start doing them was basically I did my research. I figured out, well, people are doing these. I want to learn. I want to figure out how do they do it, and in terms of like how are they recording video game footage and whatnot. Did my research, figured out it was as simple as either doing it with an emulator, which I rather not, my own reasons, and using a capture card and going further with like an HD PVR. But either way, capture card. So I started there, did a few test videos, and I was like, yeah, this looks good. I can do this. That sounds a little cocky, I know. The reason why I says I can do this, I can't speak English. The reason why I say I can do this is because I did take post-secondary for film school, so I'm well educated with editing and just a lot of aspects with making videos. So I have those under my belt, and I'm using that to make my videos. Okay, next question. So, alright, next set of questions. JC Productions 5. He asks, what is your favorite Let's Player? Favorite Let's Player? That is a very good question, because there's a lot of good ones that I love watching. Overall, I really still, despite some people not anymore, but I personally still enjoy watching Chugga Conroy. Yes, and that's all I'm going to say there, because there's other questions I will relate to it. But anyways, next question. What is your favorite Pokemon game? That's a very good question. I would say, like, the one I definitely played a lot and enjoyed playing through would be Heart Gold. I don't have Soul Silver, so I can't really compare them, but I've always been a fan of second generation. It's been my favorite, so when they made a remake for fourth generation, it was like I had to get it. I loved it very much. You know, picked Cyndaquil, fire type all the time. It's good stuff. So that's basically it for that. Do you ever watch Yogscast? I've heard of them. I actually don't watch them, sadly, but it's true. Would you ever do a Minecraft playthrough? If either out of sheer boredom or if there was absolutely no other game I could do a Let's Play of at that time? The answer is a maybe. And what inspired you to start Let's Playing? See, that's a good question. So, the question before, way back, was what made you want to start? What inspired me to start Let's Playing? That is a little different. My inspiration to do Let's Playing sprouted from my ever-going need to make something with creativity. I've always been a creative person. Like coming out of high school, I was doing film. That was a lot of fun. And I continued and got myself educated in film. It was still a lot of fun and always will be a lot of fun for me. I love doing that. But once I got back to Calgary, there wasn't a whole lot I can do with it from there. So I ended up directing that creative knowledge to doing flash videos, well, sprite animation flash videos. And that was doing good, but then the calling was not there. So I'm making videos for myself and maybe a couple friends. And that's all that was being viewed, and not a lot of people watched. So it just like I felt like a hobo playing to a crowd of people that no one was watching. You know what I mean? And then I did stuff like I did a lot of RPs to get my writing skills up that way, and to keep my creative mind engaged. So that's why I did that. And once I found out what Let's Playing was, I was just like a light bulb popped in my head, and I was like, oh, I can do video editing and still be creative and then still have a lot of fun. That is awesome. I'm going to do that. And that's where I started to look up for it. Okay, so next questions. The Hidden Gur asks, he says, first off, nice haircut. Why, thank you. Anyways, okay. He asks, what is your favorite show? That is a very good question, because there's a number of shows that are on my list there, like Mansers, 100 Ways to Die, Deadliest Warrior. I think a show that I always watch, this is going to sound like I'm a fatty or something, but I love watching Man vs. Food. I don't know why. For me, it kind of does help me with some of the cooking stuff, because then you kind of go through that whole process of seeing how they cook it and stuff and be like, maybe I can try that. And there's that whole process. Okay, next. What is your favorite game series ever? I will say Pokemon. There's other ones I could go into the category, but Pokemon has always been really solid of a franchise, and yes, some of the games are repetitive, but every game that they come out with, they're always trying something new, and I love it. Okay. Next. What is your favorite type of game system? Okay, I'll answer this in two ways. I will say I do like handhelds, but the console games are also very fun. And with that being said, overall, I just like Nintendo in general. So, okay, that's the best I can answer for that one. Next one. Who would you say is your best internet friend? I was hoping I wouldn't have to answer this because I don't want to hurt anyone else's feelings. Because I have made internet friends, just plain simple, just because that's kind of what comes with when you get into the internet. You meet people, you make enemies, you make friends. To be completely honest, the one person that I have definitely made a friendship bond with, that it, to me, is a parent that's there just because of our conversations, would have to be Kevin J 2010. Just stumbled into one of their Skype conversations one time, and then I don't know. When you talk to someone, then there is some chemistry there in the sense that you both will understand kind of joke that you're going with, or whatever topic you're talking about. You kind of both relate to it to some extent, but yet you still have your own opinion about certain things. Overall, it's been a good friendship that way. Plus, we're both Canadian, so that helps. And I'm not saying if you're not Canadian, you're not my friend. Don't get that wrong. But I will move on. Okay. Next one. Who is your favorite smaller Let's Player? Smaller Let's Player. That is definitely hard to say because the definition of a smaller Let's Player is very vague. Because I think honestly most of the people I watch are actually higher up than me in terms of subscribers and fan base. I'm gonna have to say, because I do watch his videos despite him blatantly saying that I don't, I would have to say Mickey D. Yeah. Okay. Next set of questions. Next set of questions comes from Kevin J 2010, and he asks, what made you want to Let's Play? Alright, well, again, kind of relating back to one of the previous questions, where I have this creative sensation that needs to be indulged every once in a while, just because that's just how I've been growing up. I've always been a creative person, and I just love doing anything that allows me to create something, whether it be my own product or not. In the end, if I am able to take something and work with it and then come up with this at the end, I'm happy with it. Even if it is kind of like, what the hell was that? I made it. I'm proud of everything I make. Next question. What do you think sets you apart from other Let's Players? That is a very good question, and this might make me sound like a douche. Because my answer to that would be, I do have the education. Like, I did go through film school, learned a lot about multimedia and what it takes to make something look a certain way and what it means when it looks this way. I can go into a whole spiel about it, but I feel because I have that education, I'm able to portray my image exactly how I want it to, or at least the best way I can, because I am a very creative person, and for me to be able to take what is in my brain and put it onto a piece of paper or a screen or what have you and show it to the world and have them see exactly what I see in my mind, for me that's gratifying. I don't know how that sets me apart from other Let's Players. I don't really self-examine myself too much, but I would say, I guess the only thing that would make me different from most Let's Players is most cases I do show my face. During Let's Plays, it's impossible to show my face, but every other video that kind of pops up, most of the time I would show my face. I am not shy about it. I am my own worst critic. Of course, I think I look fuck ugly, but Lunar doesn't think so. Other people say I look fine. A lot of us are like that, but either way, you guys get to see my face. You're welcome. But no, I'm kidding. Okay, so I'll go on to the next question. Next question is from Ultimate Hero 13. So, when you have your wedding next year, do you plan on to invite some Let's Players to go see? What Ultimate Hero is talking about is, way back, I had said, with the little side thing I got going on, if it becomes very successful, then I would have a lot of disposable income that I could fly out some of those close to me Let's Players to attend the wedding that way. That is still something I would love to do, and if it is possible to do it, I would absolutely. But at this point in time, I have no effing idea. Still got a lot of things we have to work on, have to save up on. I could fully answer that as a yes or no closer to the actual day, or at least 3 months before it. that's all I can really provide for that.